Thank you very much, Dr. Pandey, for having me in your course. It's a wonderful course which we have been doing for many years, and this is the first time that because of this pandemic we have to do it virtually. Uh, so I'll be sharing some videos showing the management of black cataracts and white cataracts. We all know that the. Can you see my video?
Yes, Dr. Rasul.
Okay. So we all know that it's difficult to emulsify the black cataracts because they are very dense and very hard. And this is the case which had black cataract, and apart from that, it had a very fibrotic capsule. As you can see, I made a nick here, and you can see this entire fibrotic area which is there, which is around somewhere at the circumference of 5 millimeter, 5.5 millimeter. So what I'm trying to do here is making a very small rhexis so that I can assess in which areas the capsule is very fibrotic and where it's free. So by doing this, I realized that in this entire area, it's a fibrotic area, and here it's a clear area. So now I go and use the micro scissors to give a snip here, and as this fibrotic area is uh, always it's at the 5 millimeters, so I need to use the scissors here. I can't do a freehand capsulorhexis because it may extend the tear into periphery. So here I am just holding it with micro forceps and using bimanual technique, using this micro scissors to give a cut here from side port. And once I reach in this area, now to cut from here, I need to make another side port on the nasal side. So don't hesitate to create one more port if you require, because the angle of the scissors uh, can only go from this side. So here again I am holding the capsule and cutting it. So I've reached till this area. Now I just separating the capsule from the subcapsular fibrotic bands which are there, but in this side it's clear. It was good that this area was clear. So I just release these additions, and here I'm using the centripetal forces to continue rhexis. And so once I reach this area again, there comes the fibrotic area. So rhexis was a very challenging task in this case. But once you complete this, you realize that you have another challenging task of a very dense cataract down there. So, but the good thing about this fibrotic now capsule at the margins is that they are very strong. So here I go. So this is the drill and chop technique which I have been using for years and described this. I drill in the center to weaken the central endonuclear core, rotate the nucleus and keep on drilling in center. So what it does is it weakens the hardest part of the nucleus, which is the central endonucleus. So I drill down, and once I drill, I don't make a crater here. So once I drill, then I can hold and chop it. You can see I get a complete crack anterior posterior, and again dividing it to smaller pieces. So once you have done like this, you can take out the pieces one by one. So in the harder cataracts, drilling in the center, weakening it, and then chopping, it definitely helps, as you can see. And this completes the case. I implant the IOL under hydroimplantation, and this finishes the case. Now coming to the white cataracts. The intumescent cataract, as we all know, there is a liquefied cortical matter which increases the intracapsular pressure, and the chances of radialization of the capsulorhexis are too high in these cases. So if you try to debulk the capsular bag like this by giving a slit opening in the center with cystitome, there are chances that it may run away. So I use a sequential two-stage capsulorhexis. So stain the anterior capsule with trypan blue. I go ahead and make a very small nick in the center and try to make it curvilinear. And then I use a micro forceps to create very small opening in the center. You see this whole liquefied cortical matter which is there. The central area is the safest area where you can walk around. No? So I make a very small opening in center, and after you make this opening, you go ahead with 27 gauge cannula and debulk this. You see the entire liquefied cortical matter is coming in cannula. So you go from main port, you go from side port, and but thing is you need to debulk before you try to make a capsular axis of definitive size of 5.5 millimeters. So I go ahead, and once it's decompressed, it's a child's play. You just give a snip and complete the capsular axis. See, I can easily play around and make a capsular axis of desired size. And most of these cataracts, they are very brittle, intumescent. So you go ahead, do direct chop or whatever technique you use. But the thing to remember is that these cataracts, they don't have any epinuclear cushion. So posterior capsule is right there in front of phacoprobe. So you need to be careful, and especially during the last pieces. Coming to Morgagnian cataract, another type of white cataract. The problem here is not of raised intracapsular pressure, but problem is here is of the weak capsular bag and weak zonules, and these capsular plaques which are there on the anterior surface. And moreover, the nucleus there is smaller in size, and it's freely mobile in the capsular bag. So chopping becomes tricky in these kind of cataracts. So trick here is to embed the phacoprobe, get it up, and do the horizontal chop. Get your chopper from the equator, and once you get it from the equator, it becomes more effective. And moreover, you are away from the posterior capsule, and you eat up. This is another Morgagnian cataract. Make the capsular axis. In this cataract, there is only this small nucleus which is there, no cortical matter at all. So again, hold it. So you need to have a good hold here and chop it into smaller pieces. This is the last piece which you take off and put the IOL. So do I have some more time, or my time is over? I can't see the timer.
Yes, you have time.
You have 3 minutes.
Okay, so I'll show one more case then. Okay, this is another case of pseudo exfoliation and very hard cataract. You can see. So again, stain the anterior capsule. Now here, because the pupil was small, I decided to use Malignant ring. So this is the way I use Malignant ring to whenever I reuse it. I use this cartridge which comes with the micro lenses, which goes through 2 millimeter incision, as I use 1.8 millimeter phacoprobe. So just see the leading scroll goes, and two lateral scroll, they get compressed in the cartridge. And because this was very hard cataract, you can make out it's a black cataract, so I put OVD, and I wanted to put a ring in the first place so that I don't struggle in between. So see, I go ahead and it goes through 2 millimeter incision, and see the Malignant ring will open up like it opens up from the original cartridge. So the leading haptic goes and engages the pupillary margin. The lateral scrolls, they come out, and again they one by one. Okay, it opens up outside, but you can easily engage them. So one by one, you may need to use bimanual technique sometimes to put the last scroll. It becomes a little tricky, but you're able to do it. So once you have this in place, you're very safe. So here I make a capsular axis, and again see, I'm drilling in the center. So this drilling helps a lot in weakening this endonucleus, and then you can chop the nucleus nicely into smaller pieces and take all those pieces one by one, and that see the capsular bag is weak, so you need to be very careful while you are doing cortical irrigation aspiration. Should always try to use bimanual IA. So this is the last matter which I'm taking off, and then you implant the IOL. So I think with this I finish my presentation. Thank you very much, Dr. Pandey, for giving this wonderful opportunity.